The sandwich is practically an American institution, a staple of lunchboxes, parties, and picnics. But have you ever wondered about the sandwiches that graced dinner tables in decades past? Today, we're diving into some of the most popular forgotten sandwiches from history. Let's take a trip down memory lane. 1. Creamed corn sandwich. This lunchtime classic was incredibly easy to make. It primarily consisted of creamy, sweet corn kernels, often paired with cheese, vegetables, and herbs, spread on buttered bread. A quick press in a panini maker, and lunch was ready to go. This sandwich was a favorite for those with busy lifestyles, offering a quick and tasty meal. However, as tastes evolved, creamed corn sandwiches faded from popularity. While a rarity in restaurants today, it's still beloved by those who appreciate nostalgic flavors and vegetarian-friendly options. 2. Pimento cheese sandwich. A true American classic, the pimento cheese sandwich was once a household favorite. Originating in the North, it became a southern staple due to the abundance of pimento peppers in the region. The simple yet delicious recipe included mayonnaise, warm milk, shredded cheddar, and pimento peppers spread over fresh bread. While it has waned in popularity, pimento cheese still finds its way into modern kitchens as a sandwich spread, a side dish, or even a burger topping. 3. Anchovy paste sandwich. A major staple in the 1950s and 60s, this sandwich was even referenced in pop culture, including the 1981 James Bond film For Your Eyes Only. The recipe was simple yet flavorful. Crushed anchovies mixed with breadcrumbs, olive oil, milk, and pepper, spread on toast with cucumbers. While its strong flavor isn't for everyone, the anchovy paste sandwich remains a unique and versatile option for those who appreciate bold tastes. 4. 11. Chicken liver sandwich. A popular fixture in the 1950s, the chicken liver sandwich was a hearty meal, made by marinating and cooking chicken liver, then layering it with lettuce, tomatoes, and mayonnaise on toasted bread. It was a staple in many households. While not as widely consumed today, it still appears in select bars and diners for those with adventurous palates. Some sandwiches have stood the test of time, while others have faded into obscurity due to changing tastes and the demand for convenience. Let's take a look at some forgotten yet fascinating sandwiches that once graced dinner tables. 1. Chicken liver sandwich. This sandwich was a favorite for many, but it gradually lost popularity due to the time-consuming preparation and the shift towards simpler flavors. Despite this, the chicken liver sandwich still holds a special place in some households. 2. Banana and mayonnaise sandwich. At first glance, combining mayonnaise with bananas might seem odd, but this southern comfort food was once a beloved treat. The creamy tanginess of the mayo complemented the banana's sweetness, making for a surprisingly delicious bite. However, as people moved away from unconventional flavor combinations, this sandwich fell out of favor. 3. Potted meat sandwich. Potted meat, a soft, preserved meat paste, was a convenient way to enjoy a sandwich when refrigeration was limited. Simply spread butter and potted meat between slices of bread for a quick meal. As food preservation methods improved, the need for potted meat diminished, and this sandwich became a relic of the past. 4. Deviled ham sandwich. This spicy ham spread sandwich gained popularity in the late 19th century, with its flavorful mix of ground ham, mayonnaise, mustard, garlic, onions, paprika, and celery salt. However, the preparation time and the shift toward fast food made this once popular sandwich less common over time. 5. Cheese and Marmite sandwich. Marmite, a strong flavored yeast extract, paired with cheese made for a bold sandwich choice. Its distinct savory and salty taste was either loved or loathed. As food options expanded, this once common sandwich lost its widespread appeal. Six. Cold meatloaf sandwich. A comforting southern classic, this sandwich consisted of turkey meatloaf, white bread, butter, cheese and a hint of mayo. Optional toppings like ketchup, tomatoes, hot sauce or bacon added extra flavor. Despite its nostalgic charm, the shift toward quick and easy meals pushed this sandwich into obscurity. 7. Corned beef tongue sandwich. A high-effort, high-reward sandwich, this dish required slow-cooked beef tongue, combined with carrots, onions, garlic, bell peppers, paprika and more. While once considered a gourmet home-cooked meal, its labor-intensive process made it less suitable for the fast-paced modern lifestyle. 8. Chicken and cranberry sandwich. This sandwich was a product of the early 20th century's love for cranberry-infused recipes. The combination of shredded chicken, mayo, green onions, dried cranberries, apples, pecans, lime juice, salt, and black pepper created a unique balance of sweet and savory. However, as simpler flavors became the norm, this sandwich faded from popularity. 9. Scrapple sandwich. Scrapple, a seasoned meatloaf made from pork scraps, was a staple in many American homes. Combined with eggs, cheese, and white bread, it provided a hearty breakfast option. Though still enjoyed in some regions, it became less common as people opted for faster morning meals. 10. Head cheese sandwich. Head cheese, a cold cut made from cooked and pressed pig parts, was once considered a gourmet ingredient. When paired with mayonnaise, mustard, and pickles, it made for a rich and flavorful sandwich. However, its unusual ingredients and intricate preparation process led to its decline in popularity. While these sandwiches may not be as popular today, they each have a unique place in culinary history. Have you ever tried any of these? Which one would you bring back? Arthur Treacher's fish and chips took off like a rocket when it launched in 1969. By the mid-70s, the chain had expanded to over 800 locations, bringing a taste of the British seaside to American shores. At a time when burgers reigned supreme in the fast food world, Arthur Treacher's offered something different for seafood lovers. But let's be honest, how many people really knew who Arthur Treacher was? While the restaurant was named after the British actor, customers were far more interested in his fish frying expertise than his filmography. The battered North Atlantic cod fillets, fried to golden perfection, had a signature crunch that was music to the ears. Pair that with thick, hand-cut fries, and you had a meal that felt like a mini vacation, minus the seagulls and unpredictable weather. And who could forget the hush puppies? Were they necessary? Not really. Did people love them? Absolutely. For those looking to break free from burger monotony, Arthur Treacher's was the place to be. But in a fast food market dominated by burgers, the tides eventually turned. The chain struggled to keep up, and as time passed, its once thriving locations dwindled. Today, it's hard to find a place still serving that iconic buttered fish, leaving many wondering why it faded away. Speaking of forgotten favorites, let's talk about Stuckey's. Stuckey's began as a humble pecan stand on the side of a Georgia road in the 1930s. But by the 1970s, it had transformed into a nationwide road trip icon with over 350 stores. If you were cruising down America's highways back then, a Stuckey's stop was almost inevitable. It was where travelers fueled up, grabbed a bite, and loaded up on souvenirs they'd probably regret buying later. Who didn't need a plastic alligator keychain, right? The real charm of Stuckey's wasn't just in its cozy, family-friendly vibe. It was the snacks, particularly the famous pecan log rolls. A road trip without one of those sugary, nut-covered delights just didn't feel complete. The food itself wasn't anything special. Hot dogs, burgers, and southern comfort dishes. But it was reliable, just like an old friend from middle school. Despite its nostalgic charm, Stuckey's couldn't keep up with the corporate giants that eventually took over highway rest stops. Slowly but surely, the once thriving chain faded into history. Next time you pull into a gas station on a road trip, take a moment to remember the simpler days when Stuckey's was the go-to stop for weary travelers. And speaking of simpler times, few restaurants bring back cherished memories quite like Bennigan's. In its prime, Bennigan's was the go-to spot for a special family dinner. Hardworking parents would take their kids there for a treat. And at the time, few realized the sacrifices they made to create those moments. As a kid, you weren't thinking about the cost. You were just there for the mozzarella sticks. Among casual dining spots like Chili's, TGI Fridays, Applebee's, Red Robin, and Ruby Tuesday, Bennigan's stood out. It had the perfect combination of a lively atmosphere, hearty food, and if memory serves, some of the best chicken tenders known to humankind. Though a handful of Bennigan's locations still exist, they are a shadow of their former selves. The charm and excitement of the original chain seem to have disappeared. Maybe it's nostalgia talking, or maybe restaurants just don't live up to childhood memories. Either way, it's hard not to miss those carefree days when a simple meal at Bennigan's felt like the highlight of the week. Nostalgia makes everything taste better. Either way, Bennigan's in the 70s and 80s was unbeatable. We're going back to back on a trip down memory lane, so let's take you back to a time when casual dining was more than just a microwaved burger. 11. Howard Johnson's was such a friendly place to have good food. Believe it or not, Howard Johnson's was actually great in the 60s and even into the 70s, and we have none other than Jacques Pepin to thank for that. Yes, the Jacques Pepin, a cooking legend, was once developing recipes for them. Who knew fast food could have such a sophisticated sous chef? Howard Johnson's was practically the McDonald's of the 70s. You couldn't miss that signature orange roof, standing tall like a beacon for road trippers across America. With over 1,000 locations, it was a go-to pit stop for anyone hitting the highways. Imagine the variety. Fried clams, 28 flavors of ice cream, and a classic grilled hot dog that somehow tasted even better after hours on the road. But like all good things, it didn't last forever. Mix in some questionable management choices and those famous orange roofs started to disappear. By the early 2000s, only one location remained. And in 2017, it finally closed its doors for good. Now, Howard Johnson's is just a distant memory. But let's be honest, did anything ever taste as good as you remember? 12. Lums, where burgers were cooked to order and beer was on the menu. Lums started in the early 1950s as a humble hot dog stand in Miami Beach, founded by two brothers with big dreams and a love for hot dogs and beer. By the 70s, Lums had grown into a national chain with its own quirky spin on fast food. What set Lums apart? Beer. They were one of the first chains bold enough to serve beer alongside their menu. A cold brew with your hot dog? Now that's an upgrade. The menu was a mixed bag. Hot dogs, burgers, and the pièce de résistance, their famous steamed beer-buttered buns. Seriously, who knew buns could taste that good? Lums hot dogs wrapped in those steamy buns made every bite feel first class. And let's not forget the Lums special. A hot dog so loaded with toppings, it could probably double as a building. The vibe was dark wood paneling, a bar in the corner,